Hi everyone, welcome back to PolyCloud YouTube channel. In our previous series or ongoing series, we have explored the Microsoft Azure in depth, covering core administrator topics from AZ104 certification path. The series is still going on. We are going to upload alternate videos of Linux series and Azure series. Now we are bringing an all new journey into world of Linux, especially Red Hat Enterprise Linux RHEL, one of the most powerful, widely used enterprise operating system in IT industry. In this part, we will cover an overview of Red Hat Enterprise Linux and its ecosystem, understanding open source principles and Linux distribution. We will set up and configure RHEL in Oracle VirtualBox. We'll explore the Red Hat certification, RHCSA certification, and its importance for IT professionals. So, whether you are preparing for RHCSA exam or just starting with Linux fundamental, this series will give you the right foundation with step-by-step practical demos. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notification to continue your learning journey with Polyglot. Let's get started.
This course introduces the fundamentals of Red Hat Enterprise Linux and the open source principles that drive its development. By exploring the Linux ecosystem, its history, and the role of RHEL in enterprise environments, you will build a strong foundation for managing Linux systems and advancing your career in system administration. In this course, we will discuss what open source means, why it matters, and provide key examples. We'll then explore Linux, its origins, how it differs from Windows, and why it's widely used. Next, we'll cover Linux distributions, package managers, and desktop environments. We will also discuss Red Hat Enterprise Linux, RHEL, focusing on its stability, lifecycle, and role in the enterprise, and explore the Red Hat ecosystem and its cloud integration. Finally, you will learn how to install and configure RHEL using Oracle VirtualBox for hands-on practice. The Red Hat Certified System Administrator, RHCSA, certification provided by Red Hat, is one of the most respected certifications in the Linux world. Ideally, it helps you build strong hands-on skills in Linux system administration, especially on Red Hat Enterprise Linux, RHEL systems. RHCSA is all about learning real-world tasks, such as managing users, setting up file permissions, configuring networking, and handling essential system services. It trains you to handle core Linux system admin responsibilities in a business environment. The RHCSA exam, with the exam code EX200, is a 2.5-hour hands-on lab-based test. There are no multiple-choice questions here. Everything is performance-based. You'll be working directly on a live RHEL system, performing actual tasks just like in a real job scenario. It's all about showing what you can do, not just what you know. To pass the exam, you'll need a score of at least 210 out of 300, which is 70%. The exam fee is typically around $400, but pricing may vary depending on your country and whether it's bundled with training. You can register and purchase the voucher directly from Red Hat or an authorized training partner. Now, let's discuss the key differences between RHEL 8-based RHCSA and RHEL 9-based RHCSA. The RHCSA exam has evolved from RHEL 8 to RHEL 9, with more focus on automation, security, and container management. In RHEL 9-based RHCSA, rootless Podman containers and system-wide crypto policies are emphasized, showing how Red Hat is aligning Linux administration with modern infrastructure trends. Also, the use of Cockpit, a web-based interface for managing Linux, has been given more attention, along with updated SE Linux commands, new systemd features. Compared to the older RHCSA based on RHEL 8, the RHEL 9 version has around 25–30% updated content. Tasks involving legacy tools, such as iptables, are being phased out, and newer tools and workflows, like NMCLI, Podman, and Firewall, are becoming more prominent. The RHCSA is considered an entry-level to intermediate certification. It is a great starting point for those who want to build their career in Linux system administration, DevOps, or some cloud computing. While no formal prerequisites are required, having a basic understanding of Linux command line usage, file system hierarchy, and system services is extremely helpful. Let's start with what open source is. Open source refers to something that can be freely accessed, used, modified, and shared by anyone. In most cases, we refer to software programs or applications where the source code is publicly available. Unlike proprietary software, where the company keeps the code hidden, open source software invites everyone to examine the code and even contribute to its improvement. The term open source is not that simply a trendy word. It is a method to think. It's about transparency, collaboration, and freedom. You do not need permission to use the software. You don't have to pay to look at the code. And if you're a developer, you can even modify it and share your version with the world. So, what does it mean for anything to be open source? There are a few core principles that define open source projects. These aren't just rules. They're values shared by people who believe in community-driven software development. Free redistribution is the first principle. This means you are free to use the software, share it, and even sell it without paying the original creators. Followed by source code availability. You must have access to the source code, which is the core of any program. Next is permission to modify. You are free to modify the code to suit your specific needs. Integrity of the author's code is another important principle. You can modify it, but you should credit the original creator or mention that changes were made. Next is the principle of no discrimination. Anyone can use it, regardless of their field of work or where they live. Followed by technology neutrality. The license shouldn't depend on the type of software or technology it's used with. These principles are outlined in the open source definition, which is managed by the Open Source Initiative, OSI. It ensures that open source software stays truly open. Why do people care about open source? There are many reasons, and they go beyond just saving money. First is freedom. When you use open source software, you're not locked into one vendor. You are free to move, adjust, or make any necessary repairs yourself. Next is community support. Open source projects often have large, active communities. If you encounter a problem, chances are that someone else has already faced it and resolved it. Forums, documentation, and public repositories are filled with shared knowledge. Security and trust is another reason. With the source code open, it's easier for others to spot bugs or security issues. It doesn't mean open source software is always safe, but the transparency allows for faster fixing and public audits. Another essential reason is the opportunity for learning and growth. If you're learning to code or want to understand how real-world software works, open source projects are like free classrooms. You can read code, experiment, and even contribute. Let's now examine some real-world examples of open source projects. There are many open source tools people use every day, often without even realizing it. Here are some well-known examples. Linux is one of the most famous open source operating systems. It runs on servers, smartphones, such as Android, and even supercomputers. Distributions like Ubuntu, Fedora, and CentOS are based on the Linux kernel and are widely used in both personal and enterprise environments. Mozilla Firefox is an open-source web browser. It offers speed, privacy, and flexibility. Developers can study the browser's source code or create extensions to enhance it. Another open-source tool is VLC, a popular media player that supports nearly all video and audio formats. It's open source, which means you can download, use, or modify it freely. Next, we have LibreOffice. It's a complete office suite, similar to Microsoft Office, but it's free and open source. It includes tools for writing documents, creating spreadsheets, and making presentations. While often used as a blogging platform, WordPress is also an open source software. Millions of websites are built using it, and developers contribute plugins and themes to extend its functionality. Lastly, let's see how you can get involved with open source. It's easier than most people think. You don't need to be a coding expert. Many open source projects welcome help with documentation, design, testing, translations, or simply reporting bugs. Sites like GitHub make it easy to find projects and contribute to them. If you're a student or someone curious about tech, contributing to open source is one of the best ways to build skills and get noticed. It demonstrates initiative and provides hands-on experience that employers value. Open source is more than just free software. It's a movement based on freedom, openness, and community. It is everywhere, running companies, the internet, phones, and even space missions. The next time you use a tool or service, there's a good chance open source software is behind the scenes. Open source contains something for everyone, whether you're a user, a student, or a developer. It encourages you not only to use technology, but also to learn about it, develop it, and share it. Let's begin with a simple question. What is Linux? Linux is an operating system, just like Windows or Mac OS. It enables your computer to communicate with its hardware and allows you to run programs such as web browsers, text editors, or games. However, what makes Linux different is that it's free, open source, allows anyone to access, use, and modify the code. It can run on more devices than most people realize, from phones and laptops to servers, TVs, routers, and even supercomputers. It's not just for tech people or programmers. Today, Linux is used by students, developers, businesses, and governments worldwide. It's stable, secure, and very powerful once you get the hang of it. Let's discuss the origin of Linux. Linux was created by a Finnish student named Linus Torvalds in 1991. He wanted to build a free and open version of a Unix-like system. He didn't expect it to grow so big. He shared the first version online, and soon, developers from around the world started contributing to it. That's one of the magical things about Linux. It's built and improved by a community, not just a single company. People fix bugs, add features, and share tools to make it better for everyone. Today, there are many versions of Linux, known as distributions or distros, including Ubuntu, Fedora, CentOS, Debian, and Arch. They all utilize the Linux kernel as the core of the system, but each comes with different tools and designs. How is Linux different from Windows? The first thing you'll notice is that Linux isn't as flashy as Windows. It doesn't always come with fancy animations or a typical start menu, unless you choose a desktop that has it. But it's very customizable. You can make it look and feel however you like. Linux is also more about control. In Windows, you often click buttons and wait. In Linux, especially when using the command line, you tell the computer exactly what to do. This can feel scary at first, but it gives you real power and flexibility. Another big difference is how the software is installed. Linux utilizes package managers such as apt, DNF, or yum. Instead of downloading programs from websites, you usually install them from a trusted repository using a single command. There are lots of reasons why people love Linux. It's free. You don't need to buy a license. Linux is generally considered secure, making it less likely to be infected with viruses or malware. It is also stable, so it can run for months or even years without crashing. Also, it is lightweight, allowing it to run smoothly on older computers. Additionally, Linux is highly customizable, allowing you to tweak every aspect. Lastly, Linux is open source, so you can view the code, modify it, and learn from it. Now, let's understand what the Linux command line is. One of the key components of Linux is the command line, also known as the terminal. Instead of clicking around with a mouse, you type commands to do things like open files, copy data, install apps, or check system status. It might feel like going back in time, but it's very efficient. Once you learn the basic commands, you'll realize you can do complex tasks with just a few keystrokes. For example, ls command is used for listing the files in a folder. cd is used to change your current directory. mkdir command is used to create a new folder. rm is used to delete files or folders. Sudo runs commands with admin privileges. If you're learning Linux, practicing in the terminal is one of the best ways to become confident and skilled. So, what is a Linux distribution? As mentioned earlier, Linux comes in many different versions, called distributions. Each one has its own style, package manager, and use case. Ubuntu is great for beginners. It is easy to use and well supported. Debian, on the other hand, is very stable. It is often used as a base for other distros. Fedora could be the ideal choice for you if you're a developer looking to explore new technologies. CentOS, Alma Linux, or Rocky Linux are designed for servers and enterprises. Lastly, Arch Linux is lightweight and fully customizable for advanced users. You can pick the one that fits your needs or try a few until you find your favorite. Why is it essential to learn Linux? Learning Linux opens the door to numerous career paths in system administration, cloud computing, cybersecurity, DevOps, ethical hacking, and other related fields. It teaches you how computers work and helps you think more deeply about software and security. Linux is not just an operating system. It's a culture built on sharing, learning, and problem solving. Whether you're building a website, managing a server, or just curious about how things work, Linux has something for you. So, don't be afraid to try it. Start with a simple distro, use a virtual machine, or boot from a live USB. You'll make mistakes, but that's part of the journey. Every command you type is a step forward. When someone starts learning Linux, one of the first questions that arises is, why are there so many versions of Linux? You might hear names like RHEL, Fedora, Ubuntu, or Arch, and it's easy to get confused. But here's the thing. All of these versions are Linux, just with different flavors. These are called distributions, or distros for short. So what are Linux distributions, and how do we classify them? A distribution is a whole Linux operating system that includes the Linux kernel, the system's core, additional tools, system utilities, a package manager, and often a desktop environment. You might compare it to making an automobile. The Linux kernel is like the engine, and the distribution adds the wheels, dashboard, seats, and other parts. RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, is a commercial distribution designed for businesses that require security, reliability, and high performance. Companies, government agencies, and servers that require continuous operation with minimal risk use RHEL. Linux distributions are usually classified by their purpose and origin. The first type of distros is enterprise. They are built for stability and provide long-term support. They are made for businesses, servers, and production situations where reliability is crucial. Examples include RHEL, CentOS Stream, Alma Linux, and Rocky Linux. Next, we have community and user-friendly distros. They are great for desktop users and beginners. Ubuntu, Linux Mint, and Fedora Workstation are some examples. We also have rolling releases and advanced distros. They are suitable for individuals who want the latest software and are willing to accept occasional bugs. Arch Linux, Manjaro, and Gentoo are some examples. In RHCSA, since we work with RHEL, we'll gain hands-on experience with RHEL, a stable Linux system designed to handle tasks like managing services, networking, and file systems. Next, let's explore the role of package managers in Linux. In the Linux world, you don't download software from random websites. Instead, you use something much smarter, a package manager. It's like having a reliable librarian who knows where all the books or software packages, check their condition, installs them correctly, and even updates them when a newer version becomes available. In RHEL, we use a package manager called DNF, Dandified Yum. This tool enables you to install, remove, and update software safely with just a few simple commands. Here is a simple example. Sudo dnf install httpd. This single command installs the Apache web server and handles the necessary software components that the main application requires to function. Other distros use different package managers. Ubuntu and Debian use apt-arch, and Linux uses pacman. However, DNF is the primary tool in RHCSA because it links to RHEL's official software repositories, which are safe and thoroughly tested. You can also work with local repositories or custom RPM files across all topics you explore throughout your certification course. Package managers are also helpful in keeping your system up to date. You may update the whole system with only one command: sudo dnf update. There are no pop-ups or continuous reboots. The system handles updates seamlessly and cleanly. Now, let's look at the Linux desktop environments. A desktop environment has everything you see on the screen, including your taskbar, application menu, file explorer, and the appearance and feel of your Windows. In Windows, you don't have a choice. But in Linux, especially in desktop setups, you can pick one that suits your style or hardware. Although RHEL is often used as a server OS, it can also be installed with a GUI, graphical user interface, especially for desktop use or lab environments. By default, RHEL comes with the GNOME desktop environment. Some common desktop environments are: GNOME is the default desktop environment in RHEL. It is clean and contemporary. It focuses on simplicity and productivity. KDE Plasma, on the other hand, is quite beautiful and can be changed to fit your needs. XFCE is light and quick. This desktop environment is well suited for older computers. Lastly, Cinnamon resembles the old Windows interface and is incredibly easy to use. You may also use DNF to install additional desktop environments in RHEL. However, in most RHCSA exams and enterprise use cases, GNOME is typically sufficient. Here's how you'd install a desktop environment if needed. Sudo dnf group install server with GUI. Once it's installed, you can enable the graphical target using the following command so your system boots into a GUI. Sudo systemctl set default graphical.target. So, how do these three things function together in RHCSA preparation? Let's put everything together. You learn Linux in a real-world setting using RHEL, which is a reliable, enterprise-grade distribution. You'll be using DNF, which is the package manager that comes with RHEL systems to help you manage software. And if needed, you'll work with GNOME, the desktop environment that provides a visual interface for users who prefer a GUI over a CLI. But RHCSA also teaches you to work without the GUI, focusing more on the terminal, shell scripting, service management, and system security. That's why it is important to understand the foundational distributions, package management, and desktop environments. As you progress through your RHCSA journey, remember this: you're not just learning commands. You're learning how a professional Linux system is built, how software is managed, and how the user interacts with the system, whether that's through a terminal or a GUI. These basics will follow you throughout your entire Linux career. Mastering them early gives you the confidence to tackle more advanced tasks, from file systems to SE Linux. In this demonstration, we'll install Oracle VirtualBox and create a new virtual machine using it. To get started, open your web browser and download the VirtualBox installer. In the address bar, type and search for VirtualBox. In the search results, the first link should be the official Oracle VirtualBox website, which is https://www.virtualbox.org. Click on the link to access the Oracle VirtualBox homepage. Now on the homepage, locate the download button on the right side and click on it. You will now see a list of platform packages for various host operating systems, Windows and Mac OS. Since we're working on Windows, click on the option labeled Windows Hosts. The download will start automatically. This may take a few moments to complete. Once the download is complete, locate the setup file and double-click it to begin the installation. A Windows security pop-up may appear, asking you to remove protection and open it only if you trust the source. Since this file originates from the official Oracle VirtualBox website, you can click on Remove Protection and Open option to proceed safely. This opens the Oracle VirtualBox 7.1.10. Click on Next to begin the installation. On the User License Agreement screen, select I accept the terms in the license agreement. Next to proceed. You'll see some configuration options. Feel free to adjust these settings if needed. In this case, we are keeping them as they are. Click Next to proceed with the installation. At this stage, you might see a warning about network interfaces. You can safely ignore it and click Yes to move forward with the installation. A message may appear regarding missing dependencies, such as Python core and Win32 API. You can proceed by clicking Yes, as these components can be set up manually later if needed. You will then be allowed to customize installation options, such as shortcuts and file associations. You can keep the default selection next to continue. Now click Install to begin installing Oracle VirtualBox on your system. Wait a few moments for the installation to complete. Once the installation is complete, a confirmation screen will appear. Click Finish, and VirtualBox will launch automatically. Box is a virtualization platform that allows you to run one or more virtual machines on your system. If you need to configure a virtual machine, you can either add an existing one or create a new one. To create a new virtual machine, click on the New button located at the top of the window. A window will appear where you need to enter a name for your virtual machine. RHEL. In the ISO image section, make sure to select the correct Red Hat ISO file that you downloaded earlier. To do this, click the drop-down menu on the right and choose Other. Then, browse to the location where you save the downloaded ISO file and select it. Then click on Open option. Next, check the box labeled Skip Unattended Installation to disable the default automated setup. Now let's configure the virtual hardware. Under the base memory section, set the RAM size to 4096 megabytes, that is, 4 gigabytes. Then, under the processor section, adjust the number of CPU cores according to your system's capability. In this demonstration, we've allocated 2 CPU. Click on the hard disk drop-down menu. If you need to add a virtual hard disk, select the option Create a Virtual Hard Disk now on the left and specify the desired disk size. Click Finish to proceed. Then, click the Start button located at the top of the VirtualBox window to launch the virtual machine. The virtual machine will now power on. You will now be taken to the login screen. Since only one user was created, John, the system will automatically display the login prompt for that user. So type the password you set earlier and press Enter to log in. And that's it. Your virtual machine is now ready to use. It includes the setup of Oracle VirtualBox and the creation of a new virtual machine. This was just a quick initial configuration of a new virtual machine. We'll be fully configuring the Red Hat Enterprise Linux system in the upcoming demonstration, step by step. So, when people think about Linux in business environments, one name comes up over and over again: Red Hat Enterprise Linux, or RHEL. It's not just another Linux distribution. It's a carefully built system designed for companies that require reliability, security, and long-term support. Whether it's running servers, managing containers, or powering cloud platforms, RHEL is the go-to choice for many organizations worldwide. So, what makes RHEL an enterprise-focused operating system? RHEL isn't just about installing Linux and using it. It's also about managing and maintaining it. It's about creating an environment where businesses can trust their systems to run smoothly 24/7. RHEL is designed for production environments, meaning real-world systems that must remain up, secure, and capable of handling serious workloads. For example, a hospital's patient record system or a bank's transaction servers can't afford downtime. RHEL is built for these kinds of use cases. It focuses on aspects such as stability, security, performance, and, most importantly, predictability. You don't want updates that randomly break things. RHEL avoids testing everything thoroughly before releasing it. Also, RHEL is more than just software. It's backed by Red Hat support. Tools, documentation, and training make it easier for companies to adopt, use, and manage Linux at scale. Why is stability such a big deal in RHEL? Stability in an operating system means it doesn't break or crash easily and behaves in a predictable manner over time. That's exactly what RHEL delivers. When you install RHEL on a server, you know that the system will work reliably for years without unexpected changes. Red Hat achieves this by focusing on long-term, thoroughly tested software rather than constantly chasing the latest features. While some other Linux distributions give you bleeding-edge updates every few weeks, RHEL sticks with known and tested software versions for years. This is especially important for servers and enterprise apps, which often don't like changes in libraries, drivers, or behavior. With RHEL, companies can plan ahead, knowing that their systems will continue to run the same way next year as they do today, with only security patches and bug fixes in between. While preparing for the RHCSA exam, you'll learn how system services, storage, networking, and security settings are carefully managed and how updates in RHEL are controlled and implemented safely. What kind of support does Red Hat offer? This is where RHEL really stands out. When a business pays for a RHEL subscription, they're not just getting an OS. They're getting professional-grade support from Red Hat engineers. This includes 24/7 technical support, depending on the subscription, access to the Red Hat customer portal, which features official guides, troubleshooting tips, and updates, as well as security alerts, advisories, and certified software. Additionally, it provides help with certified cloud providers and hardware vendors. This kind of support is especially valuable in critical situations. If something breaks at 3 a.m. on a Sunday, you don't want to rely on a forum to report the issue. With RHEL, you can open a support ticket and get real help from someone who understands your system inside and out. For RHCSA learners, this support system also means access to learning materials, labs, and developer resources, making it easier to build real-world skills. Let's now explore how RHEL's life cycle helps businesses plan their operations. Every version of RHEL comes with a 10-year life cycle. That means Red Hat will support it for a full decade, providing security updates, bug fixes, and enhancements. This long support period is incredibly valuable for organizations. Let's say a company rolls out RHEL 9 on 100 servers today. They can trust that those servers will be supported and secure for the next 10 years. That's peace of mind for IT teams, who can focus on building services instead of worrying about constant OS upgrades. RHEL's lifecycle is split into phases. The first phase, full support phase from years 1-5, includes all features, updates, patches, and support. The maintenance support phase follows from years 6-10, focuses on security patches and critical bug fixes only. And the final phase, optional extended lifecycle support, ELS, enables businesses to extend usage beyond 10 years. Why do businesses continue to choose RHEL over other Linux distributions? It comes down to trust. RHEL provides companies with a platform they can rely on, backed by a team that understands the needs of enterprise IT. It's not just about the OS. It's the ecosystem, tools, certifications, support, and compatibility that Red Hat offers. Additionally, RHEL is certified on major cloud platforms, including AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. Therefore, businesses using hybrid or multi-cloud environments can continue to rely on RHEL wherever they go. That kind of consistency is a significant advantage in today's rapidly evolving tech world. So, whether you're preparing for RHCSA or managing Linux in a real company, understanding how RHEL works and what it offers is essential. RHEL is a good choice for businesses since it focuses on stability, support, and long-term reliability. It powers real-world systems in enterprise environments, handling critical workloads with efficiency and robustness. And once you master it on your RHCSA journey, you'll be able to administer Linux with skill and confidence where it really matters.